the Longbangers Thursday phone-in association with Leeds Spirits. I'm Matty and joined by our usual, let's say usual, some I was irregular faces. Is that the opposite of regular face? We've got some irregular faces um, on the show tonight. So we're going to try something a wee bit different rather than doing like around the table and hearing from everybody for 5-6 minutes each. We're just going to start the conversation going and get opinion as we go. So I suppose a good place to start would be Sunday's game against Celtic. But before we go into that, did anybody get a chance to try out the new behind the goals? Nah. Jack, what were you? Were you in the behind the goals this weekend?
Yeah, I'm a season ticket holder and behind the goals, yeah.
What did you think it, mate?
It's quite good. I really like it. I like how they've done the good designs and the way it's set out looks quite nice.
And how did it work? Were you able to kind of go in and get food and drink at half time, or was it just
Yeah,
before and after?
they do like street food and stuff. So like burgers, pies, and then you can just get a drink there as well. So it's quite nice.
I always think they make street food sound
Yeah.
like it's appealing, but when they say it, I always think of like roadkill. Eh? That's innocent. Who's want to buy that? Um,
Aye,
and a nice pint and everything. Jack, what were you drinking?
just the usual Magners.
The Magners. Aye, good, good, good. Would you recommend it? Not the
Yeah, I
Magners,
would
the behind the
definitely.
goals.
Oh no, I'd definitely recommend it. Because as you go in, you've got the famous five sculptures at the bottom of the reception, so quite nice. And then there's a
Oh,
lot of writings, all the captains and stuff at the bottom. So
it's the five busts that they got made of the famous five excellence.
just in the
Everybody appreciate a nice bust.
aye.
Good, 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 good. Right. So on to the game itself. Then, who wants to start with their thoughts on Sunday's game?
Can I go first, Matty?
Yeah, of course
Because
you can.
I was unusually for me, I wasn't at the match because I'm on holiday in France, but I was standing beside John at the Kelty game, and I was amazed at the analysis that John was able to do from us standing behind the goals. I mean, I coached for 10 years and I was okay at it, but as soon as Hibs are involved, I get so involved in the game and I'm sort of emotionally invested in it. I can't even see the tactical side of it or the system of play, but I pretty much never watch live games on TV at all. So the past two, with being on holiday, have been a bit strange for me. And I watched the whole game back on Tuesday and I paused and fast forwarded to see if I could understand why Celtic had dominated us so much. And it was obvious that David Gray had decided to give the ball to Celtic and then changed it at half time because I couldn't believe it. It was in the first half, we never played the ball out from the keeper once. And 18 times, and this comes from just sitting looking at it again and again, 18 times, either from the keeper or from defensive clearances, we gave the ball right back to Celtic. So only 3 times did we actually get it for more than one touch. So 18 times we gave it away right away, and only 3 times we actually got it for more than one touch. And it was an obvious change of tactics at half time from the first keeper's ball in the second half. We started playing it out from the back. So we played it out from the back 5 times in the second half, but twice we lost it immediately. And it was strange because at one point they were actually lined up for Bursick to play it out short. And then O'Hara was actually asking for it, but Bursick turned him down and then booted it away. And just towards the end of the game, 3 long balls worked, obviously, when Bowie came on, and we had gained and retained possession. And one long ball, Scales was actually made a mistake, and that let Boyle in. But again, there was no pressure on Scales. But I think the thing that you guys pointed out, on the episode and on extra time, was a passing accuracy. And Marvin Bartley pointed out during the commentary as well, because the passing accuracy at half time, 89% to 56%, that was a big deal. The number of passes, 420 to 133, that didn't really mean anything. We were happy for Celtic to have the ball. But it's very interesting. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was you, Matty, or Marvin Bartley, but the point is that their passing accuracy is because they are put the ball exactly where the receiver needs it. And the receiver has got a great first touch. So I was fascinated the fact that we were just inept. and it was almost by choice we were inept because at half time the duels won. We won 27 to 25, duels won. But Josh was so ineffective and appeared to panic. Boyle was ineffective. And I was just, I was really, really disappointed at how toothless we were.
It was like that, James. And you come.
Ian, I know you're watching from TV. In the first half, could you see what formation we were trying to line up in? Because you're right, the second half was so much clearer, a 4-2-3-1, because the three midfield were in a perfect line in front of their back, whatever they played. It was such a difference. I mean, there was a way to set up. But the first half, I just thought it was random and I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know if you could see from TV and obviously replays if it was clear.
It looked like 4-1-4-1 to me. You know, that's what it looked like. I used to play 4-1-4-1 in my games, but
so you recognise that one, yeah. Yeah, second half it definitely was so much more clear, and I think it helped. And as you say, the introduction of Bowie. I mean, when was the last time? I mean, I've said a few times I like somebody a bit of shithousery, and I watched him every time the ball was near, every time the ball was going his direction, and he was always elbows, arse, everything in Carter Vickers' face, and it was been a long time since I seen a Hibs player, especially a forward, with a wee bit of kind of shithousery up front. It was actually quite impressive.
He was quite good at it off the ball as well. With Carter Vickers, he never gave him a moment's peace when he came on. By the way, Dave, I'll get your thoughts. So giving the ball away a lot in the first half. Like when we talked about it on Sunday, we talked about like the players not being brave enough. David Gray talked about players needing to be braver on the ball as well. Do you think that was an issue, or do you think it was the setup that's the issue, or what do you put it down to?
A bit of both, Matty. So the setup, I kind of agree. It was more like a 4-1-4-1. The biggest problem for me is nobody really had a fixed role and responsibility in that midfield, right? And that annoyed the hell out of me because you saw at one point we had Josh playing at the number 6. We had Dylan coming back there, and then 5 minutes later, Dylan was playing as the number 10 and pushing up as the second striker, and they were just all over the place. So there was no real structure in that first half at all. So you can call it whatever you want as far as the formation, but it did come down to just give somebody a job to do, try and neutralise McGregor, and you might get something. And for all the shite that Monty got and all the rest of it, he did that well a couple of times. He put Venti on McGregor and stopped him playing, and we got someone out of it, right? So surely you learn from that, from all the times that you sat with all the other coaches, and you learn this is the only way we beat Celtic is by taking McGregor out of the game, right? Once he's kind of controlling everything in midfield, they've got so much quality across the park. I've no issue with saying the players you've got to be brave. These other players are a million miles ahead of what we had in that park, right? And is
that not where you really need to be brave though? Like when you know you're going to be under pressure.
Aye, Matty, get in their faces, absolutely, right, and make a nuisance of yourself and all the rest of it, right? But there was a lot of chat about we played Dylan further up because we thought he would be braver on the ball and keep the ball. It's never going to happen against Celtic. It's never going to happen. You've got to take any chance you get from a dead ball, and that's all you're going to get from that game, right? Unless they think they've won the ball easily and then they kind of lay off the gas a little bit. But no, I was very surprised with the setup in the first half. There's a lot of players, but for me, weren't putting in the effort they should be putting in. Quite happy to see players and balls go past them. And in the second half, it was better, but only I think because Celtic did take their feet off the gas a little bit. Right, they didn't go right at us. I mean, we were probably a bit more forward as well, as the guys are saying. It was pretty much a 4-2-3-1. I thought looked much better when Rudy came into the number 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's his role all day long. Right, he's a 10 all day long. He's playing out on the left just because that's the only place we can put him in just now because he needs to play out there, right? Moving forward, he'll absolutely be playing there. That's him for me. He's got the arse for it. He's got the physique for it. Everything. He can hold the ball up. Everything we're looking for on number 10. So I think we've got that to look forward to. And then as far as what happens in this weekend's game, just don't start the way we started the last one.
We'll come on to this weekend in a wee bit. Jeff, I'll bring you in now. Just as you're taking a drink, timed that perfectly.
Yeah, no, thanks, Matty. I managed to unmute myself. Just about the first half in particular. Dave touched on Venti being the McGregor man marker in the game where we had some success. Me and my brother were sitting there, and nobody was taking responsibility. He was taken a few times by one or two players, but no one player picked him up like Venti did. Now, you got Miko up front. It probably wouldn't be his job, but surely one of the midfielders. And as Dave or somebody said, the 10, the 6 and 8, they were just messing around. And after about, we said to my brother, after about 20, 30 minutes, Josh Campbell looked knackered.
Mhm.
He obviously picked up an injury.
Mhm.
He was getting nowhere near the opponents. I'm not saying I'm a Josh Campbell fan. I'm not a detractor. But on Sunday, the midfield were a man short after about 30 minutes. I don't know what had happened to him, and I was surprised to see him come out for the second half before he was eventually taken off. And people are talking about being brave on the ball. The only player that was brave on the ball the whole game before he went off was Rudy Molotnikov. Absolutely took the ball in tight spaces, kept the players on, didn't always get away with it. Maybe that's just the youth in him, I can do anything. But it was so refreshing to see him do it. And Bowie, when he came on, was very similar. Just didn't give a fuck. I'm going to get stuck in here. I don't care about the reputations. So
Do you not think Miller did the same? Do you not think Miller did it? I thought Miller was great.
Oh, Miller was good. I'm just saying it was obvious going forward that Rudy would take the ball in any position. Yeah, Miller's got the confidence. He'll take anybody on. Not always in the right positions, but he's. I like Miller as well. I'm a big Miller fan. It's been well documented. But yeah, apart from that, and the other thing about the first half was the lack of desire to get that second ball when it broke in the box. You can watch the highlights and they're just jogging back. Miller was caught a bit unaware, shall we say, but Obita was just jogging back. He should be absolutely busting a gut to make sure he's there just in case. Again, I like Jordan, but he was at fault on Sunday. Second half a lot better, but as you say, Celtic the foot off the gas.
I thought Miller had to look and seem to know where McGregor was there, because he made up his mind to go and support in the middle rather than not McGregor Forrest.
Yeah.
But he's like, right, I'm going to leave him, but it was like he forgot he was there, and he still had a job to do after the shot went in. Really frustrating. Callum, you get your hand up. I'll bring you in, mate.
I think for me, it just highlighted what lack of character and leadership's in that team, because, like already been mentioned, the midfield was all over the place, and it was almost like they were shocked by how Celtic played. I think nearly all the players have played against Celtic several times, and we've got a captain on that park, and it's been kind of spoken about today. Like, he probably is the best midfielder that we've got there now, but he needs to take lead when he's on the park and no wait to get a rocket for the manager at half time. I just think we just looked so nervous, and like, I just it didn't make any sense. And as I say, all the players have played against Celtic before. Maybe the two centre halves haven't, but they two are very experienced guys. And I was thinking back to, I know like Levitt gets criticised a lot, but when you think back to last year again in the Luzerne games, I can't remember who the third guy was, but Levitt and Newell were excellent in those two games, and they showed. And they're up against the boy Max Meyer that'd been at Crystal Palace and a couple of top German sides as well. So we can do it. I just don't know like what's going on in terms of like the inside the squad. But there was I don't know if you've seen the clip for this Marcondes documentary, but it was after the 4-0 Aberdeen game at home, and he mentioned about the players feeling sorry for themselves. And when you hear that, you think he's probably right. But like, what is it they've got to feel sorry for? It's just I don't know what it is, but there's a real. I'm repeating myself for last week, but there's such a lack of character and leaders in that squad now. Hopefully this Kwon coming in, he seems to be quite level-headed again. He gave quite an impressive kind of interview today. Already supports the Hibs, so we just need some characters in there. And I know there's a lot of talk about McCowan, and I mentioned him last week, and what you've seen of him, he would be the right character. But I think he's on his way. If Celtic want him, that's where he's going to go. And I think we need to look at maybe reinvesting elsewhere. But rumour has it that the Maya leader deals fell through on us, so just chuck all the money at him.
See if we get him back. Ian, you've got your hand up there, and you come.
I just wanted to add to when I was watching the highlights. Sorry, not the highlights. When I was watching the whole game and pausing, etc., I really expected Celtic to be much better than us in terms of pass and move, but they weren't. They did not do pass and move in the way that I'd expected them. I expected to see them doing pass and move, but they didn't. They just have the fundamental correct. When you receive the ball, when you're going to receive the ball, you must already know what your passing options are. That's a fundamental in all coaching. So before you receive the ball, you must know what your options are. And Hibs didn't do that. And so the pass was poor. The pass wasn't in front of the player. The first touch was poor. But also, they didn't know what their passing options were, whereas Celtic always knew that. And that's a really, really simple thing as far as coaching is concerned. But Celtic were not fabulous at movement off the ball. They simply did the fundamentals correctly.
Shay, and you come, mate.
I'm kind of Ian. Yeah, like Celtic didn't look that great as we looked at the game the week before against Kelly. So I watched like the last half an hour, and they didn't even look that great. They didn't look like they came out of second gear. So I thought maybe just a thing against teams that they expect to beat. If you look at Hibs recently, they're a very beatable team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the Old Firm, Hearts, like the top 6 sort of teams. So I thought Hibs should really just go for it. Because you'll be expecting us to just catch us on the sort of counter or whatever, or make a mistake. Then they go 1-up, 2-up. But we gave them far too much space in midfield. Like for the McGregor goal, I didn't like the angle I was sat. I didn't realise like the 4 players on the left hand side that had sort of not been done, but it's just sort of like I was sort of watching them and pressing them, and let McGregor get the pass in the middle and like get the shot away. And as soon as I thought, as soon as he hit the shot, it was going in. And not taken away from the goal, because it was a great strike, but I think we could have done better defensively for the pass to go into McGregor.
Aye, well, McGregor had all the time in the world. I mean, he collected that ball, stopped, had a wee count of the seagulls. He was all right, weighed up, Kev, what am I going to do tonight? Had his phone out, checked Netflix to see what he was going to watch for the evening, and then decided to take the shot, and there was still nobody near him. James, and you come?
Yeah, I just think we're being a bit harsh on ourselves. I know there's problems, but we are a team who are going to, nail in 9 first-team players, all new to the squad. It's going to take time to gel. And I think Celtic changed their tactics against us, because Forrest and is it Toon who played against Abita? They had paint in their shoes the whole time, but they stood on our fullbacks. We like to get our fullbacks forward. They couldn't be there too, pushed up so high. And I think that took Miller out the game for his attacking and Abita. I actually feel sorry for Abita. I think he got a lesson learned. I mean, that Toon was taking him to cleaners the whole game, but he is a multi-million-pound player, international. And I will definitely sleep Sunday night. I'll give him that. And I mean, you get weary after just getting ran at the whole time. I know it was early in the game, but that Toon was just running at him. And I think the only way you could have combated that in the middle to stop it going wide, you have to have 2 players standing on both O'Reilly and McGregor. So that would take out 2 of our midfielders immediately if you try that tactic. I mean, I just think they changed it, gave us the respect. I don't think they stepped off it, because Roger says they wanted more. They wanted to finish us off. They don't like Celtic are never team to stop playing. They will keep going at you until they're possibly 4 or 5 up, and then they might go, yeah, okay. They're not known for kind of holding back. I think we turned it around a little bit in the second half, still problems, but I think they changed their tactics to suit us, which is something Gray said he wants us to do. Change the tactics to suit the thing. It's going to take him time to learn. Roger's been doing this for decades. 20 years he's been in management. He knows, he's got the players, he can move whatever formation he wants. And I think with Forrest on one side, Toon on the other, it just nullified our attacking fullbacks, plus the 2 in the middle of the park. They're £50 million between them. You know, if you want to say McGregor's the best in Scotland, it's a tough ask for those 3 guys to deal with that.
It is, in fairness, it is difficult for them. Dave, you got your hand up there.
Just on that last thing about, we were talking about bravery earlier and all that as well. It was very obvious to me that everything that was coming out from the back was basically into the feet of the keeper and then a long ball out to Miller just over the halfway line. And he was getting up, using his strength, trying to head it down to their second ball. We did that so many times in the first half and did it plenty in the second half as well, right? I can hardly count. In fact, I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 occasions where our defensive mid went and took the ball off our centre halves or the goalie. And we used to do that all the time. And it seems like that was just out the window. So perhaps that was tactics, but certainly there wasn't any bravery at all. And you're right, the fullbacks were pushed back by them. Totally made sense, right? Obita couldn't get up at all. And to be fair, you know, I worry a little bit that we became so basic against Celtic. And that was quite concerning. I thought we could have done something else than what we did.
What about the second half, Dave? What do you think changed in the second half? Where we improved? Like I know there's the
Personalities on the pitch, man. There was a
is that
minor
what you
change.
think?
There was a minor change in the formation, right? We definitely went with the three behind the striker. Bowie came on, made a big difference. As I say, Rudy went into number 10 for a while until he got injured. They all made big differences to the players that had gone off in those areas. But for me, yeah, it was the players that came on the pitch and that minor change in formation. I think hoping that the new guy comes in is going to play as just a six, right? And he's just going to sit as a six and do his job as a six. I think that should make a huge difference, right? And it'll allow Newell to actually go up and maraud a little bit and get further up the pitch rather than having to just come and just kind of hang around just in front of the defence. That's where we get the best place from him. And again, if McCowan comes in, then I think we've really got something there. We've got the makings of a decent field, but it depends on that. So yeah, it was just, for me, it was just a change in personnel.
Ian?
I just wanted to reiterate to Dave there, Dave, that was deliberate. So, in other words, we played the ball out straight from the keeper and long balls from defence. And what I said was 18 times we gave the ball right back to Celtic in the first half. And only three times did we get more than one touch, which is the one you're talking about where Miller has it down. So it was a change. It was a change at half time. They changed it.
Tracy, we're just talking about Sunday. If you want to come in, but what were your thoughts on the game on Sunday?
Well, I was driving, so I had the game on, but obviously couldn't watch it. So of course, get myself all psyched up at the start. Come on, the Hibs. John had to get off his train, so he missed the first goal. So it's just I wasn't expecting 3 minutes in that we were going to concede. I mean, obviously the Celtic team they've played together all last season, apart from obviously Schmeichel. But they're pretty well gelled. Obviously, we only had Bowie on the bench. Couldn't use Cadden or Hoylett. So 3 signings that we had brought in last week, which I think are good signings.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, there was only one available as well. So stuck in traffic. So I did see a little bit. I did see Bowie's shot.
It was a cracker, wasn't it?
It was. He was really good when he came on. I just think heads kind of went down. You know, must feel so defeatist as well when you kind of concede 3 minutes in against the best team in the country. But I mean, Callum McGregor's goal was good, but obviously it's all about the actions, you know, prior to him having that space and being able to take that shot.
Kind of shot ourselves in the foot quite a lot. I think with the 2 goals, just like daft mistakes, really. Even you take the second goal back to Ekpiteta's pass back to Bursic, and there's no great clearance for Bursic, and then we're on the back foot, and then we're 2 behind. Jack, Kieran Bowie came on in the second half. What did you make of him?
I was at the game. I was proud of what he had to offer. Like, you can see what he wants to do. He's very aggressive, has the attitude to play for the team, and I think he's going to be a good player and deserves to start on Sunday.
So I think that takes us nicely on to sort of the next topic, which is the signings that we've made. So obviously we've got a bit of a sight to Bowie on Sunday, but we also had Cadden. I can't remember, was Hoylett confirmed before we recorded last week?
Yeah, he was, but he's not going to be included in for Sunday for some reason.
No, I think he's no fit until September. So
September.
Where the squad is just now, then I don't know who wants to go first on this one. How are you feeling about where the squad is at the moment?
I'll take it.
Yeah, go for it.
No hands been up there. Tricky question. Still a work in progress. I mean, we've strengthened in the right areas, apart from midfield. We're just addressing that at the moment. But then we go and let a striker go. So I feel we need another striker. If Bowie is the kind of winger he says he is, but good, he can play across the front. We've only got one backup centre half now. Harbolt's gone, so we're back down to close to bare bones again in some key positions. So it's getting there. I mean, Kwon looks good, but unfortunately, the number 6 we need, he's on loan from a team we actually need the number 6 to play in. Because Celtic is the team we need a true number 6. Can he play in there now? So we need another number 6 for those games. No. I just McCowan-esque would be great. If Ewan is going, rumours that he wants to go, he's gone. He's gone. We need wingers. Boyle needs an electric shock. I don't want him to go. I don't want to badmouth him. I want Martin Boyle on the pitch, but I want the old Martin Boyle. If he's lost it, it needs to be recognised, and unfortunately, that's another. So I need a couple of wingers, striker, centre half, and midfield sorted. So we're still a few good players away, and it needs to be first team players. We can't get any more projects. So I am in there.
You had us as relegation candidates earlier before we'd made any signings, James. How are you feeling about it now? Would you still put us in that bracket, or do you think we're going to be further up the table now?
Third place, man. Going for the third place. Realistically, I know we're relegation, not with that team now. We've got making a Quan in there, changes the midfield, changes the whole landscape. 2 centre halves are growing. Ekpit's needing a wee bit of growth. I'm just confident with Bowie. I just think that's almost a good decent spine. And if we do get a McCowan-esque or something for Bournemouth out of the hat, if Malina's still available, Marcondes, you never know what can happen. And I'm actually more confident. Yeah, we're not world beaters. We're a long way off that. I still think it's going to be October before we see a gelled side. So we're going to be behind the 8 ball to start with. We accept that. We need to. But I think decent times. Scottish Cup, top 6. That's where we're looking.
Sounds a real bad season when you put it like that. Callum, you come in.
I was surprised at Venti getting let go. I know there was kind of rumours about it, but I just think that kind of leaves us with two. I don't want to say laddies, but like Kukarevich, he's a wee bit older, but he's not played a lot of first team football. Maybe he's had 2 seasons, no really recognised as a striker or a winger, and I just think it puts a lot of pressure on the boys. So I don't know if we need late 20s, early 30s, big number 9. I don't know if that's something that we need. We definitely need wide players, as it's sort of been mentioned. That I don't think we're going to keep a hold of Yuan, and we definitely need another centre half.
You think for
I think
for cover?
What we signed 9 players so far, and to still need. I mean, if he's going to stick to playing four at the back, then just for cover. But there's no talk of any kind of our younger guys at centre half. I think they don't know. I think there was a lot of talk of the boy Blaney last season, but he's been moved on. So I mean, I don't know if that's going to be like Bevan or whatever. Everyone's kind of went quiet there, but I think we still need one forward player and one centre half certainly. But to say that after signing 9 players, I think it's madness.
You wonder if there's maybe an option to play 3 centre halves, because he played Miller at right centre half a few times, and is maybe waiting on Cadden coming back for his injury so that he's back fit. You might see like the shape of the team change a wee bit. Ian, your hand up.
I think we have to admit that Venti was a failure in terms of Hibs, and I think I'm honestly stunned that he wasn't coached better, because he seemed to never be in the right place. He seemed to never be at the front post when he should have been there. His runs into the box were always at the wrong time. I don't know how we coach our forwards. I don't know how we coach our strikers. It's just, frankly, I find it ridiculous that he was still playing exactly the same, when he left, And I assume, like was said at the Hibs first event, you have loans, you have development loans, you have exit loans. I think this is an exit loan. As far as the squad's concerned, I want to see youngsters coming through. I don't want us to see us go and buy more players. I want to see Megla come through. I want to see Mariah Welsh come through, and I want to see them playing. And I was very interested in your discussion on extra time, because you started to talk about why Boyle might not want to be there, but then you skipped over it, which is a shame, because I think it's pretty clear that Boyle doesn't want to be there. He wants to be in Australia with his young family. That to me is pretty obvious in terms of motivation. But overall, I think I'm very pleased about the squad. As usual, the thing that disappoints me is Malky Mackay's comments on every single signing we make. I'm tired of Malky Mackay adding to what David Gray's saying, and especially when it's something like, thanks very much to Brendan for making the loan process so smooth. It's like horrible. It's like, Celtic are Celtic and we are Hibs. So Malky Mackay, please stop talking. You know?
I think there was a wee bit. I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a bit of chat with Malcolm McCann. Brendan Rodgers going away in the same car after the game on
Oh yeah.
Sunday. So maybe that's how the deal got done. Eh? Maybe you got to play in these relationships, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Ian. That's why he's buttering them up.
Oh God. No more.
Jeff.
Yeah, just back to the centre half situation. If he's going to play possibly 3-5-2 or variations thereof, we've got Miller and we've got Obita that can drop into the centre half position. So if I was having to spend money, it'd definitely be on the midfielder and another forward or winger at the moment, and just pray that we don't get too many injuries at the back. Because Obita could drop in there. You've got Nicky Cadden that can play the left-hand side. I'm told, I've not seen him play, but I presume he's like left wing back, left midfield. So, and Miller's the same with Cadden in front of him, or Boyle, but probably not Boyle in a 3-5-2 for his defensive capabilities. So yeah, it was just about the centre halves really.
How are you feeling about the squad overall, Jeff? But by the way, when you sit like that, you look like you have your arms growing at your ears.
I know. I can. Oh, Bob. No.
No, you're all right. Just carry on. Sorry, I'm just getting. I
thought I had a picture with just the stadium, but it was just me acting like a fool in front of the stand. The charity cycle day. Anyway, so
yeah, thoughts on the squad.
We still need to get rid of a few, obviously. I'm glad that the club are looking at people like McCowan, whether he's the one that eventually comes in. But if the figures quoted are correct in chat groups and on social media, we can surely pick someone else up for that money that's just as good. That's my feeling. So squad-wise, yeah, we definitely need players. The noise around Ewan is, as everybody says, he's almost definitely off unless he gets injured and doesn't get sold before the window. And then you've got, is his application going to be the same as before? So yeah, we're not in a bad place, but the midfield needs sorting out, and we probably do need a big horrible bastard up front still. I think Bowie will be a horrible bastard up front, but if we're going to play him wide as well as through the centre, then maybe somebody else. So midfielder, somebody else up front, another left-sided winger will be sound.
Okay. Tracy?
Yeah, just kind of touching on the squad, and obviously just as Callum said, we're talking about we're still needing players, and we've brought in 9, which is crazy. And we've still got a bloated squad. So the club are going to have to help them move on if they want them to move on. No, I can't see the club paying up these guys' contracts. Every player wants to play. Nobody's there wanting to steal a wage because everybody wants to play. As a player, that's your ultimate aim.
What about your second choice goalie? There's folk make careers out of being second choice goalies, and you'll never convince me they're desperate to play every week.
Oh no, they all want to play every week, but it's the worst. It's the worst position to ever be in.
I know.
Because unless you're number one, you're pretty much goose. or you're probably sitting there going, get injured.
So we saw a couple of boys moved on today, Tracy Vente and Harbottle.
Yeah, I missed the Harbottle one. So he'd been at work.
He was away to Wimbledon, so you'll only see him in the summer. What do you think the right moves for those two?
Yeah, I do feel sorry for Dylan. I just feel, we haven't used them like we should have used them. I feel we've probably let him down as a club. So I do feel quite sorry for him. And you can see that he was obviously very well liked when you see players, posting their goodbyes to him as well. So he was clearly very well liked in the dressing room. For whatever, obviously, he's never been played mostly in the right position. He's obviously completely short of confidence. So I do kind of feel, and I feel as a club we've probably let him down a bit. But I hope it's a good move for him. I hope he's happy with the move, and I hope it kind of builds his confidence. Because that must have played havoc as well with his kind of mental health as well. And as a striker, all you want to do is score goals. I mean, you're having those near misses. It's okay, yeah, you're creating chances, but ultimately you want to score a goal. But yeah, I do think we've made the right signs. As we say, we can't play Quan on Sunday, so we've got our number 6, but can't play him. Then Haddon's a possibility. Hoylett's obviously out till September, so we're kind of bringing in the players for Dave, but not necessarily are all ready and available for him to utilise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit kind of up and down. I think they're good signings, but it's just it's a bit.
We'll wait for him to get in the team.
Yeah.
Dave, you've got your hand up there.
No, just to add on to that, just I think they are good signings that we've got. It's the start of a much better squad. I think I've said there's a few that obviously still need to go. Bit unhappy about Venti going, but it's kind of like I don't think they're ever going to play a system that's going to suit Venti. He's not a lone striker. I don't think he's ever been a lone striker, and it is the current fad to play 4-2-3-1. Most teams do it now, right? And that just doesn't suit him at all for me. If we changed to a 3-5-2 and had him up playing next to Miko, he might have got something, but I don't think we're ever going to play that way, unfortunately. And even in the times when Monty was here and he had to play deeper, I thought he gave plenty to the squad at that time, but he obviously never got to score the goals that we were hoping he was going to do. On the what else do we need? McCowan's huge. If you get McCowan, it transforms us, I think. Right, it turns us from a top 6 team to a top 4 pushing team for me. Right, and then on the centre back side, I think no matter what happens, we'll get at the end of this period, we'll get 3 players for Bournemouth that'll cover up any gaps that we've got left over, and they'll just wait until it's required. It'll be Bevan, probably. Right, I mean we've still got Rocky there, right, and I like the 2 that have came in, but Big Marv's no any more like skillful or talented than Rocky, to be fair, with the bought his feet. And I work with a guy who's a Blackpool fan, and he said that. He says, look, the guy's brilliant. He can head it for miles. He can clear it for miles. But you didn't want the ball at his feet. Didn't get him near him. He can't play like a football game. The other guy can. Right? And that's the difference. But I really, and I know we've talked to this for years, I really want a left centre back. So, because Ohura playing on the side for me would be different gravy. I think he can play a pass, he can play a long pass and all the rest of it as well. Plenty of ability, but I just want him playing on his right side. But we need to find a left-sided player, and we just never seem to be bothered to do it.
What's is Bevan left-sided?
No, he's great as well, but he played on the left a fair bit, but he's right. He used to play in the centre of 3 all the time when he was on loan at Cheltenham or where it was.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring us on to Luke McCowan in a wee second. I just want to hear for Shay and for Jack. So Shay, I'll come to you first. How are you feeling about how the squad's shaped up?
Things have been not bad so far. I think we've recruited in the positions we've needed other than midfield, which is the sort of main point that has been made. But I'm feeling happy so far. I'll obviously try and wait until further in to give them a proper judgment. I think the 2 centre halves have been all right, other than the last 2 games. But it's like it's not good to his feet. But I think it's what we've sort of needed for a while. So a tall centre half that can win a ball at the back post or whatever it is. Sort of when we need them to. But I'm looking forward to the new signings that haven't played, like Swan and Hoylett and like Haddon. But yeah, I think a couple of just midfielders. No, it just seems like we're going to have sort of merry-go-round, but it's like that's the one.
So important, eh?
Yes, one position we've sort of struggled with for a while. I think nothing against like Newell and stuff, but it's come to a point where he's like 31, so he'll be like looking to not go out leave the squad, but be like someone coming from if we need to, or like someone to like back him up.
Aye, is Newell as old as 31, is he? I feel
Might be totally wrong.
I always thought it must be about that. I suppose he's been at the club a good few years now. So, but he just extended his contract for another couple of years, didn't he? Then when he got the captaincy. Okay, right, Jack, tell us what your thoughts are on the squad, mate.
It's looking better, but I think it'll take a while to gel in, as a lot of people have been saying. But a bit disappointed in the Luke McCowan situation.
Okay, so talk to us. We'll come on to Luke McCowan just now. Talk to us about Luke McCowan. What are you disappointed about?
Well, 3 bids and the third's been rejected. 750k, I think it was. So it's a bit. How much are they wanting? It's just he's not that expensive in my opinion. So
So you wouldn't go, you think Hibs are right to no pay any more than they're offering?
yeah, I think that's the right price for Luke McCowan. 750.
It's an interesting one because you've got that sort of argument about like, can you afford to buy him or can you afford not to buy him? And that's almost
Yeah,
where I think Hibs are the now is can we afford
yeah.
not to get him because of the type of player he is? If it wasn't Luke McCowan, Jack, who would you like to see coming in?
Can't really think of anybody. I know that David Gray wanted Alan Campbell, but I don't see that happening either, unless there's a way to bring him back to Scotland some way around it.
He's a good player. Wouldn't mind seeing Campbell come in. James, you got your hand up there?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing before we moved on to McCowan.
Go for it.
Jack did a good thing. It's a nice segue. I just want to give a shout out to the Block 7 guys. It's the first time we've seen the safe standing, and I sit on the halfway line, and everywhere they've been, they're fairly quiet. But I thought they'd done a really good job. I know they're outnumbered by that mob at the other end, but I thought they'd done a fairly decent job. Considering we were down 2 goals in the first 10, I thought they did a cracking job.
I'm all for folk creating an atmosphere and everything, but that fucking drum gives me a headache. Like, I'm
definitely.
an old
Apart from the
bastard.
drum,
I totally get it. I'm an old bastard. And that's
2
my
of them now.
problem and no theirs.
There's
But
2 drums.
and they're closer to me now. Like, I'm up at that end of the stadium. I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh no.
They-
It's just the right level for me.
They had
Just
a
the right
bloody
level.
siren or something with them this time as well. I thought it was at the
Oh,
shows.
it's one of the big horn things or something
Aye.
like that, and it has different tones on it. Aye.
I was just waiting on somebody shouting, scream if you want to go faster. I was like, what the hell's going on here about the football? They're come to see a band, they're
Whoa.
going to bloody shows. Nah, fair play to them. A bit of noise and a bit of colour. Well, I say a bit of colour, all black. But you know what I mean? Metaphorically speaking, a bit of noise and a bit of colour. They're all with their balaclavas and all the rest. Fair play to them if that's
Yeah,
what they do. Jeff, did you have your hand up there for a second?
Yes, I did. It was just going about that fucking siren in the drum. Come
the
on.
only one.
Longbangers, the oldest podcast out there for the Hibs dads and Maz. There
Yeah,
you have
well,
it.
granddads.
It's more about the
it.
young team. Now,
Yeah.
like I say, fair fucks to them. You know, if that's your thing, and you want to go and have like a big song and dance at the football, good on you. Right, Luke McCowan. Well, I've got you there, Jeff. You can tell us what you think about the Luke McCowan situation. What would you do if you were Hibs?
Oh, difficult one. Dundee are holding all the aces on this one because they know the meltdown that will be at Easter Road if we don't get him now or somebody equivalent. So they can just sit there and, fine, or wait until Celtic come in with a better offer. So everybody's aware of the situation at Easter Road and is aware of the discontent amongst the fans. And if we don't get McCowan, it'll be the old blood in your hands and the usual shite that goes around. It's Dundee are playing a good game. Yeah, I hope we get him. I really hope we get him or somebody like him with the money we're offering. I think personally it will go to the game against Dundee at Easter Road, which is before the transfer window shuts, and I think a decision will be made after that. If I was Dundee, that's what I would do.
Hold out till then. Ian, what were you? Your hand up.
I think it's been said earlier. I think Luke McCowan would really be a game changer if we were to get him. I've just had a look, and the Luke McCowan song is just a variation on, he's on fire. So it's not exactly a great song, but Venti's song was really awful. So just singing, Dylan Venti, Hibs number 9 after that, just was terrible. It was really bad. So from the singing viewpoint, I'm glad Venti's on his way. Luke McCowan, though, we're going to have to come up with something better than that. Yeah.
Ian, how does that Venti song go? I didn't quite catch that there.
I knew you were going to do that.
I like that song.
It's a good song.
It was a favourite of my son's as well. He liked that one.
The lassie that sits next to me, like in his stand, right next to me, she sings it all the time, But she's like, "Oh yeah, can't you get fucking in here?" She sits right next to me. Every swear word, and the guy behind me, "Fucking Campbell, you're shite," Dylan into Hibs number 9, like that. Fucking hell, get into here, can't you?
It's a proper Easter Road flavour of the night. Callum, what were you? Where do you stand with McCowan? You mentioned him earlier on and said that you think he's the sort of player to transform the midfield. Would you be pushing the boat out to get him, or do you think we've hit our ceiling with what we would offer?
Aye, because he's 26, so I mean, you might get a return on the park if we get him, but I've got a funny feeling, and it was already mentioned that we play them before the window closes. There's no chance if we're going to get him, they're going to give him before that game. And if Celtic are kind of lurking about at the moment, then I think, well, he's meant to be a boyhood Celtic fan and stuff, and if there's interest there, I could see it going right to the window, and it'll be similar to the Harry McCurdy thing a couple of seasons ago, where we were sitting up to like the back of midnight waiting for it to be announced if it's going to happen. But like other people have said as well, I don't know who you would then go for instead. I know there's a bit of talk of the boy Silla, but then we've got Quan in now, and also the guy for Dundee, Lyle Cameron, who seems to be a decent enough player. But I think what we've got enough for these kind of midfielders that like to, I suppose they like to play with the ball at their feet. Because if I think the boy for Central Coast Mariners, I don't know, did he sign with Ross County?
Josh Nisbet, didn't get Dave started on this, by the way. This is
hasn't signed for Ross County yet.
Is he not signed yet?
But apparently it's very close to happening.
Right, but I just think he would be too similar to what we've already got. Whereas McCowan, we don't have someone like McCowan in the squad. But as I say, if we weren't to get him, I just don't know where you'd put that money to find something similar. Sorry, I've got a 2-year-old climbing up my legs.
Oh no, you're all right. That's I was going to say, I've been there before. I did the Ken, your 2-year-old. It was one of mine that used to do it to me. James, you get your hand up.
Just a quick question on McCowan. I have no opinion on him because I don't know the guy. But the Celtic story, is that not maybe Dundee playing a wee bit of games, lit up the money? It just sounds a bit more shithousery than truth. Because if he goes to Celtic, which if it happens, it happens. Is he going to get in front of McGregor? No. Is he going to get in front of somebody like O'Reilly if he stays, whatever's going there? No. So would he want to go and sit on the bench? Okay, he's going to get a pay rise. Is he want to go and do that? I don't think he'll get much game time.
He's on the pay rise, eh?
It'll be the same as the other Scottish player that goes there and sit on the bench and get like more money than we get here, and we've seen it happen time and time again. So if they do actually put a bid in, which hasn't happened yet, but according to someone a few years know quite well, they reckon it's very likely that they are going to get involved. I think you're right. I think we're out the window if Celtic show a proper interest. Then we're in serious bother. And then you're right, Matty. It's who do we go for after that? Because they've put a lot of eggs into this basket. Ben and others have been after this guy since last season. Been talking about it for a long time. If it doesn't work out, then it's who do we go and get now? And Josh Nisbet isn't Luke McCowan. Josh Nisbet for me replaces Joe Newell in our team, and he allows you. He can play anywhere in midfield, to be honest. But he's not Luke McCowan.
Dave, you obviously follow Josh Nisbet quite close, not literally, but you've watched him on the TV and that.
He's too weak to get that.
Were you surprised that he's ended up at Ross County? Did you think he would have had his sights higher than that? Assuming he signs for them.
That's not deliberate. I'm massively surprised, and to be honest, I knew that there was certain people at our club that wanted him, but the people in the position of making decisions have said they don't think he's the right fit for what we need, right? And that's what they're there for. So you go with that, and that's it, right? I'm surprised it's Ross County that are going for him. I don't think that would be a fit at all. I'm surprised none of because a lot of them are going to Championship or League One down south. Now, he was Player of the Year over there last season. They're playing against all these players, and he was outstanding, no matter the height of them and all the rest of it. And he is small; he's only 5'3", right? And that's definitely went against him because people just look at the stats and say the last thing we need is a 5'3" player running about the place, right? But he's got a heart of a lion. He does not get pushed off the ball against much bigger players. So it is very surprising if he ends up for me at Ross County, because I think his ability is much better than that. And it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we sign him for 400 grand next year after one good season at Ross County, because that will just be very typical of what we've done in the last few years.
We could have
got him for nothing. right? For free transfer, £2,500 a week probably max, right? He was on buttons in Australia. You give him a flat over here in the capital. For me, it's a no-brainer, but you never know.
No-brainers in Hibs. Who would have thought they would have got? Oh, talking of no-brainers. So John, other John, who's normally on here, he couldn't make it tonight, and he asked me to bring this up. So get your thoughts on it before we go and get the wrap up with predictions for Sunday. The Evening News podcast, they put out a Hibs one. The Hibs breakdown is what they went with. I think they've now revamped it to the. I can't remember what they changed their mind to.
Hub.
The Hibs Hub. That's it. Well, what were your thoughts that when you saw the Hibernian breakdown or the Hibs breakdown? That was John. John wanted me to put it to the panel. So, what did you think of that? Hold on, see if I can get his exact question. Did you feel like you were being trolled with the Hibs breakdown title? Did anybody feel that the Evening News were trolling us, or was it just not?
Very typical Edinburgh Evening News, to be honest. They're a altering publication, and they've been overtaken by things like the Hibs Observer and other channels and all the other podcasts and all the rest of it where you can get information from. I think they're falling on their arse, and this is their last throw of the dice. And the fact that they went for something called Hibs Breakdown shows how out of touch they are with Hibernian and its supporters.
What's the Hearts one called? Was it equally bad?
Hearts Digest. So
yeah, it just sounds like diarrhea or something like that.
Yeah, digest and breakdown, sort of, almost the same sort of idea, isn't it? But just not the other meaning through. Yeah. Right, Sunday coming, we're back against Celtic across the Parkhead. How are we going to do in this one, and what would you like to see happen? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go for it, Jeff. And I see Shay reaching for the button, so Shay, you can go second.
Yeah, what I'd like to see is a better performance, obviously, a bit more heart, a bit more bravery, and get some, as Marvin Bartley said, get some legs in midfield. We just lacked legs on Sunday. As I say, Josh Campbell didn't look, I don't know what was up with him on Sunday. Normally he's a lot more effective. So I don't know what it takes. Just play maybe one up front, pack the midfield, do something different. Don't do the same thing and expect a different result, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So whether it goes to 3-5-2 and we pack the midfield, do we seriously think about dropping Boyle for that game? Because he brought nothing on Sunday. Keep him for the games where he's going to have an impact, and just put somebody in who's got some legs and can tackle and just do something. So my predictions are it will probably be 1-0 Hibs.
Excellent. Right, Ian, I know you've got your hand up. I'm going to bring Shay in first just because Shay was about to go first when I brought Jeff in. So I'll go to Shay and I'll come to you, Ian.
I think hoping for a bit more fight, especially if we be in the cup. I'm not sure what round it is, but so like as a Hibby, I've always wanted to sort of trip to Hampden because it's sort of our second home. Not recent times, but just I've just seen another cup come to East Road because I was like too young to see the League Cup in 2007. And then I wasn't there when we won it in 2016. So to see us actually win a cup would be absolutely great. So I'll see a 1-0 Hibs.
All right. Brilliant. Ian, when you go?
I would drop Boyle. Although Rudy came onto a game, he looked just as much lost as everybody else at the start. So I would bring in Cadden as well. So I would put Bowie on, and I would put Cadden on. I definitely play Miko up front, and as long as, like we said last week, as long as you don't lose an early goal, we can win the game. So again, don't lose an early goal, 2-1. It'd be interesting to see the stuff we've discussed tonight about man marking McGregor, because obviously, as we pointed out, that's the great job that Venti did. So it'd be interesting to see if we decide to do that. But I think we should start with Cadden, and we should start with Bowie.
Okay. Dave?
I want Rudy man marking McGregor. I think he'd be absolutely brilliant at it, to be quite honest. So I'm just hoping he's fit, because he did come up injured near the end of the game. So if he's fit, I think that's ideal. He's the only one with the legs to stick with him, and the physicality to not get pushed off the ball, because McGregor likes to take a ball in the half turn. Rudy's a lot cleverer and a lot more, a much better understanding of the game than I think his age would give him credit for. So for me, he plays in there. I agree with Cadden coming on and playing on the right. I would play Boy on the left. I'll still play him because he's a only outball out there, right? And I'll play him on the left and state him, go and just break inside and shoot any chance you get. We've just got to take shots against Celtic. If you get any kind of position in the final third, you've got to get shots off and try and get, if there's rebounds and all the rest of it, do that. And then I agree with Bowie up top. I'll play Bowie up top. And then we can always swap it, get Miko on and put Bowie out ride and all the rest of it, and then that's it. But for me, Rudy on McGregor is the only chance we've got. Do that, we win 3-1.
Tracy.
Well, I'm just going to give a prediction because it's not really mattered when I haven't. So I'm going to say 3-2 Hibs because we like that score line. And I'm going to say that the scorers are going to be Bowie, Rudy and Joe Newell.
Nice one. Right. James.
I'll keep it short. I'm wanting it to be the worst game in history, 0-0. Scrape it through to penalties and dump the fuckers out at their own patch. Formation-wise, 4-4-1-1. I'd put Mariah Welsh in a 10, but just stick him on McGregor. I think his energy would just drive him nuts. I like the Rudy shout as well, because he's a tough wee boy, but I just think the energy of Mariah Welsh would just run him into the ground.
That's a decent shout, by the way. Mariah Welsh might be made for that kind of role. Jack, I think you're last up then to tell us what you think. How would you set up and what's the score going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 1-0 Hibs. Kieran Bowie scored that.
Right.
You want to win this game because I want to see Hibs at least win something this season, whether it's the Scottish League Cup or Scottish Cup. But to get back to Hampden would be great and just dump them out because I can't stand Celtic with a passion.
Fair dues, fair dues.
My husband will be happy to hear that.
So it's a clean sweep. Hibs win predictions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we never fucking learn.
No.
We done the same last week and we got bumped.
Aye, well,
You
right
should
away.
take back your team.
Could be right at some point.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Always got to believe.
Always got to
Back
believe.
our
That's
team.
it.
Yeah, that false sense of hope. Get beat. And that's it. That's like being a heavy, but we need to change it for the World Cup. So.
Nope,
Exactly.
never in a million
Plus, I'm
years.
staying with my jam. I'm staying at my auntie's on the way down south on Sunday. So, and my uncle's a jambo.
Oh
So
no.
Right.
we need to win.
How to say about choosing your family, your friends, but you can't choose your family. Like Tracy,
Exactly.
what's happened?
I know.
Just
Falkirk will put Hearts out.
Aye, that sounds a
That'd be
good
good.
idea. That would
That's,
be great.
that's a hard time for them on that pitch.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
we take that. The sort of Schadenfreude has been the only joy we've had for football over the last few weeks. Like Hearts getting scudded on Saturday was bra.
Oh, that was
Rangers going out on Tuesday was bra. Like it's ridiculous when your best football moments of the season that other teams losing.
I see Derek McInnes is Dana Lee Johnson taking Kelly in the next round of Europe, getting pumped in the league 3 times.
Well, there you go. I'm sure he'll get kept on though. Apologies if you left a comment on YouTube. I couldn't find a way to get the comments up on my screen earlier. For some reason, I couldn't get them on my phone either. So I wasn't just ignoring you if you left a comment. Sorry about that. Guys, thanks very much for joining us. I hope you have a great weekend. If you're going through to Glasgow on Sunday, I hope you have an even better weekend. Right, we'll be back on Sunday with Longbangers, and we'll see you then.